Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibs7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this week's update, which doesn't have a whole lot of stuff in it, but there were some pretty significant patch notes that I wanted to mention. There was no actual real content out in this update week, but like I said, those patch notes are pretty significant and may impact your training and other things going forward, so I definitely want to mention them. Before we get into that, I will be showing some stuff on the video as well. But before we get into that, I just wanted to mention my apologies. This video is out quite late. It's late at night on Tuesday. Usually I have these out on Monday. I'm sure quite a few of you actually, I believe, saw my community post. It seems like those actually are seen by more people than I thought, since it did get like 10 thumbs up, which is more than I would expect to have on a little random post like that. But pretty much what happened was I was recording this video last night and my computer blue screened on me in the middle of the recording, and I just didn't have time to re-record. I had to go to bed for work today, and I just didn't have time to re-record. And I've been having that issue quite often recently for some reason. I was having my computer blue screen on me randomly. It seemed to only happen when I was playing RS, but I'm not 100% sure what the problem was. In my event viewer on my computer, it said some stuff about like bug check reboot, like it was rebooting because of a bug check, and I tried my best to figure out how to fix that on Google and anywhere I could, but I really couldn't find anything that actually worked. It seemed like a lot of the stuff surrounding those bug check things, either the simple things didn't work, or there was some like super technical stuff that even I don't understand at all. Like you need to be like really like a technical person with lower levels of hardware than I am experienced with to even understand that stuff. So I did not follow that. I'm not very well versed in operating systems as in terms of like how they function and stuff like that. Although I do have a computer science degree. That was not something I focused on in school or afterwards. So as a result of that, I decided yesterday to order myself a new SSD and do a clean Windows install on the new SSD to hopefully fix these issues, as there was nothing else I could figure out to try, and I'm just trying to get this fixed. And that's basically what I did. I ordered a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. It's my first time using one of the M.2s. It was kind of a pain to install because I had to remove one of my graphics cards because it was covering up the M.2 slot on my motherboard, which was a bit of an annoyance. But it ended up getting it installed. Used a nice little USB stick with a Windows boot media on it to install Windows, and then I transferred over all the files that I wanted to transfer over from my SSD, like my existing video clips, screenshots, and random documents and stuff like that. And then I just went ahead and wiped that SSD, and now I have it in the computer as a secondary drive. So that'll be nice to store my old videos and stuff like that, and hopefully we won't have any more issues with blue screening. So far I haven't had any problem, and I've been spending quite a bit of time getting all my stuff set back up, like downloading OBS, downloading my editing program, downloading RuneScape, Steam, all the stuff that you need on your computer. And I think I'm pretty much good to go now. So yeah, that's pretty much a long-winded version of why I hadn't uploaded this video, but I figured I'd give you guys a little rundown on what I've been up to try and get it fixed, and hopefully it is fixed now. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video in terms of the update. And this week they did a pretty heavy-handed nerf to mining and smithing, or not to smithing really. It's just a nerf to mining. But I do want to show that off. I did go and try it in the previous video. Oh yeah, by the way, apologies if there's any lag or anything that's kind of slow during this video. I did just download RS, so the cache is probably still downloading and everything. Like you can see, the items are being really slow to load in, so forgive that if you can. It should be no problem going forward after this video, but for the time being it might be a little. So I'm about to have a loading screens. I probably still have those on as well. I didn't fully change around my settings just yet back to how they were. This is a bit of a higher graphic settings than I play on typically. I don't know. I don't really like the ultra graphics personally, but let me turn off loading screens, even though one didn't play there. Those have always annoyed me. But anyways, so the change for mining was pretty big. Basically, the damage dealt to a rock's HP will now scale with your current mining stamina. So as far as I understand it, although they don't specify the exact curve of how it decreases, if it's like linear or exponentially worse at the lower end, I'm not sure. But either way, it is a pretty big nerf, as previously, as far as I know, you would have not had any penalty on your mining until you were out of stamina completely. And even then, it was only a reduction to 80% of the mining speed, or basically 80% of the damage you deal to the rock. And like outside of doing a click every swing, you weren't going to be getting a very good, much better mining speed if you kind of AFK'd quite a bit and then clicked every now and then, maybe for your rock opportunities and stuff like that. So that was that. But now they've changed it so that it does scale with your stamina. So I believe as it goes down, you get slower and slower. And then when you're at 0 stamina, you will mine the rock at 20% the speed, which is a humongous difference. So 80% all the way down to 20%. So we can see here, I'll let it go through the entire stamina bar, and it is a lot slower. So yeah, that is definitely going to be a big impact to people who like to do the AFK mining. It is definitely not going to be as AFK anymore. However, there is a solution that has been around as far as I know, and since mining and smithing came out, you are able to refill your stamina automatically with stone spirits if you are under the effects of a juju mining potion, a perfect juju mining potion. And we're about to hit 0 stamina here. So as you guys can see, one more swing, it will slow down tremendously in terms of per swing damage being dealt, and it would take me forever now to mine this rune rock, which is only a level 4, is it 40, 50, something like that. It's really slow. So you can imagine doing something like light or dark animica with this speed would be absolutely horrendous. In fact, I thought they had some. No, they don't actually. That's in Tyrann or whatever. But yeah, it is a huge change to AFKable mining. But like I was saying, if you do have a perfect juju mining potion active, every time you consume a stone spirit, your stamina will be fully recharged, which I think is a good feature, and this will probably make stone spirits rise in price at least marginally, because people are going to want to be using them to continue AFKing as much as they can. I just don't understand why they don't make that the stone spirit effect. Like, it gives you a second ore and recharges your stamina. Why do they have to put that behind the perfect juju mining potion? I don't really understand. It kind of doesn't make much sense why that would affect your stone spirits, in my opinion. But yeah, I wish they just made it a base thing with the stone spirits themselves instead of making it included in the mining potion. But still, as far as this nerf goes, I mean, it's been like over a year now since the rework, so it's kind of strange to see it so late in the game. But I think it was kind of needed. They did say a lot about how there was a huge influx of ore into the game. Not as many people were smithing it, just because of how easy it was to AFK mining. And in my personal opinion, mining was way better and more enjoyable than smithing when I was getting those 299s. I just like to do the mining far more. So this should hopefully contribute a little bit to reducing the amount of ore that comes into the game. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, that is basically the mining nerf. They also said that stamina will no longer deplete at Saren stones. That's why I walked over here. So you don't even have a stamina bar here. However, their HP has been raised from 1500 to 2000. So a pretty decent increase there, 33% increase on their HP. But now you don't have to worry about your stamina at all while mining these. So that's good, I guess. And that was everything for mining. So pretty big nerf to your AFK mining. If you want to continue doing it, grab some some perfect juju mining potions and some stone spirits to continue with that mega AFK. They also made some pretty big changes to smithing in terms of invention components mostly, and it's going to hopefully be good for Iron Man mostly. This isn't going to be a big change for main accounts, but still, it is nice to see that they're kind of updating it because it was a bit ridiculous before. So basically, all smithable items now will disassemble into 4 invention parts or components per bar used in their creation. So a very, very large increase in the amount of components you get. So if you have an Elder Rune plate body +5, you will get 640 parts or components. And Elder Rune equipment also now has a higher chance of breaking down into components rather than parts. And if you know invention, parts are these things here, which are the common, and then components are the uncommon materials. So disassembling the higher levels of equipment will give you a better chance for the rarer materials, which obviously makes much more sense. And it might now be worth disassembling these things if you are going to be smithing them. So it is a really, really nice change, I think, for getting some components. Well, the only problem at this point with invention components for Iron Man and smithing is the fact that at the higher tiers of ore, I think even everything above rune doesn't have all the weapon types. Like scimitars are one that is very important for, I think, is it swift components? I don't remember if that's scimitars, but whichever ones give these swift components. Let me see. Claws, it says. Maybe scimitars is subtle components. I don't remember exactly, but scimitars I know are one that people have mentioned quite a lot that they want to have added to the other tiers. And I really hope that they do that at some point, because that would just make everything pretty much perfect in my eyes in terms of smithing and invention. Now, there are still issues with smithing in my opinion. I just don't find it enjoyable to train. It's hard to pinpoint an exact reason why. I just don't really like the whole heat system and how it is a drastic drop-off in progress per swing at each interval, and the intervals are pretty small, so you kind of feel like you're wasting a lot of time if you're AFKing a little bit and you're dropping down in heat levels. Now there is the auto smelter or whatever thing to keep that up, which I've never used. I guess I probably should try that, but I don't know, I haven't had a whole lot of enjoyable time smithing personally. But yeah, that is it for the smithing change. They also nerfed the breakdown perk because of this, which I don't know what it did before, but now I know what it did before in terms of the activation chance, but I don't know what it actually did. I assume it kind of broke down your smithing stuff into materials. Basically, it goes down from 0.8% per rank per bar down to a flat 0.8% per rank. So yeah, that is that. I think this is a good change, obviously, definitely needed. I just hope they continue onwards with hopefully adding some more of the other weapon types to the higher tiers, and maybe, I don't know, looking into some other ways to get people smithing more, because I don't think this is going to do it on its own, especially for main accounts, which is the goal of these changes, to reduce, kind of balance out the amount of ore and stuff coming into the game. So those are the two headline changes for the week, mining and smithing. There were a couple of other things in here though that I think want to mention off somewhere in here. They made some fixes to the War's Retreat, which is good. There were some issues with the portals, I believe, and I'm not sure why a bunch of these fixes say expected very soon on them. Does that mean that these aren't actually released yet? I don't know. Just seems a bit strange there. But no, I guess that was actually pretty much it for the patch notes as well. The winter chill off event has also ended. I think they mentioned that in here. So those tokens are probably going to be converted to GP at some point, or maybe they already have. I think I used all mine up before the event ended, so I don't have any. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this mining and smithing changes? Is the mining one a good one or a bad one? It's kind of up in the air. Like, obviously for doing the actual training, it's bad, but I think it might be good for like the health of the economy and the game and the skill as a whole, maybe. But at the same time, people are pretty greedy, or not really greedy even. It's just like people tend to be self-centered, especially in this game, where they only think about how something benefits or hurts them rather than the game as a whole when considering things like this. So try to see it from a different point of view if you're really down about this change, because I think things like this, and maybe in a way the hunter change as well, were kind of needed for the overall game as a whole. And I think I would love to see more activities like Big Game Hunter being brought to skills that give a lot of XP per hour, are really engaging, and you have to be paying attention to do them. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my little rambling story about my mic, not my mic, that was last week, but about my operating system struggles and getting my new hard drive, or my new SSD and all that. Hopefully we have no more issues. Pray for me. I really hope that there are no more problems, and we can continue to PVM on this account without worrying about losing it to a crash or something tragic like that. But yeah, that's going to be it, you guys. I'll have a new video out, of course, on the weekend for this hardcore Iron Man progress, as per usual. And I believe, oh yeah, one other thing before the end, there was no February month ahead, and they actually, I believe, mentioned that there isn't going to be one. So I believe we're expecting patch week every week in February, which kind of really sucks. That they won't even do a month ahead. Like, that's kind of crazy to me that they don't even have patches we're talking about even. I don't know. They didn't do one for January either, so things aren't looking good so far this year, but hopefully they turn things around with some nice up month ahead for March. I'm really hoping we see archaeology in March, as if they push it any later, it's going to kind of be pretty disappointing. But anyways, that's it for me, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.